Recently, the online news website I-24, an Israeli website, reported that an acclaimed architect and a literature scholar proposed a plan to rebuild the Third Jewish Temple. This movement to rebuild the Jewish temple is not new. However, many nationalist Jews are making preparation hoping for the rebuilding of the Third Temple. Will Israel construct a new temple? What is the significance of building the Third Temple? Let us listen to the prophetic word of the author of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 9, verse 13 to chapter 10, verse 7, a war broke out at the blowing of the sixth trumpet, also known as the Second War. This war involved 200 million soldiers and killed one-third of the world populations. After seeing this war vision, the author saw a mighty angel coming down from heaven. This angel held a little scroll open in his hand and spoke loudly. When he spoke, the seven thunders sounded. A voice from heaven instructed the author not to write down the message of the seven thunders. Although God did not reveal the content of the seven thunders to us, God is not delaying the completion of his plan. At the blowing of the seventh trumpet, the mystery of God will be fulfilled, just as he announced to his servants, the prophets. The voice from heaven instructed the author again. The voice commanded him to go and take the little scroll from the hand of the mighty angels. From Revelation chapter 10 verse 8 to chapter 11 verse 14, the author will reveal the content of the little scroll to us. Everything shown in the scroll is part of the sixth trumpet, the second woe. What does the little scroll tell us? First, God will reveal what would happen in Jerusalem before Christ's return. The mighty angels asked the author to eat the little scroll. This action symbolized the author internalizing the message of the scroll. The scroll's message is like honey in the mouth, making the stomach bitter. This analogy of honey and bitterness symbolizes the message as encouraging and terrifying to the authors and listeners, including us. This message from the scroll is prophetic. The prophecy is about many peoples and nations and languages and kings. What is this prophetic message? This prophetic message is in Revelation chapter 1 verse 1 to 14. We will look at the details of this message. In Revelation chapter 11 verse 1 to 3, God instructed the author to measure the temple of God, and God also promises to raise up two witnesses. God will raise up two witnesses to prophesy for 1,260 days. This number is equivalent to 42 months, which is 3.5 years. We do not know when these two witnesses will appear, but when they come, they will prophesy for 42 months. These two witnesses will prophesy in the temple of God. This temple is not the heavenly temple mentioned in Revelation chapter 7 verse 15 and 11 verse 19. These two witnesses will prophesy in the earthly temple of God. We know that this temple is earthly because the nation will possess the outer court of the temple and will trample the holy city Jerusalem for 42 months. These two witnesses put on sackcloth. The implication is that they humble themselves before God. They do not represent the earthly temple authority. During these 42 months, the two witnesses will prophesy to the nation gathered in Jerusalem. They will prophesy to many peoples and nations and languages and kings. Before the arrival of the two witnesses, the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem must take place. This sequence does not mean that the two witnesses will come immediately at the completion of the earthly temple. We do not know when they will appear. However, the rebuilding of the earthly temple as an event must take place first, before the events of the two witnesses. Who are these two witnesses? In Revelation chapter 11 verse 4 to 6, the author revealed more details about these two witnesses. We know three things about these two witnesses. First, God did not reveal their names. Since we do not know their names, we avoid speculating. Second, God reveals that they are like two olive trees and two lampstands before the Lord of the earth. This metaphor of olive tree and lampstand comes from Zechariah chapter 4. The metaphor in Revelation is slightly different from the one in Zechariah chapter 4. In Zechariah chapter 4, there are 2 olive trees and 1 golden lampstand. 1 olive tree is standing on each side of the lampstand. Despite this slight difference, the 2 olive trees on the right and the left of the lampstand refer to the 2 anointed ones who stand before the Lord of the whole earth. Similarly, the 2 olive trees and 2 lampstands refer to the 2 anointed witnesses standing before the Lord of the earth in Revelation chapter 11. Although we do not know their names, this imagery indicates that these 2 witnesses are believing Jewish individuals. Later, these 2 witnesses will die in the same city as their Lord. The cross where their Lord was crucified indicates that the 2 witnesses are Christ's Jewish disciples. Third, God will protect these 2 witnesses with His power. No one can harm these 2 witnesses during the 42 months of their ministry. The phrase fire pour out from their mouth means God will respond with power to their request when people try to kill them. With God's power, they stop the rain during the days of their prophesying. They have the power to turn water into blood or to strike the earth with every kind of plagues whenever they desire. Nothing will harm them for 42 months. What happens after 42 months? After 42 months of ministry, the beasts that rise from the bottomless pit will kill them. The bottomless pit refers to the abyss, which is the place of the dead. Satan will gain control of the abyss when the 5th trumpet sounded. I have made an earlier video of the 5th trumpet. You can watch it in my channel. Satan will release this beast from the dead after the beast dies of a mortal wound. This beast is the Antichrist who will deceive the dwellers on earth whose name have not been written in the book of life. The beast will end the ministry of these 2 witnesses by killing them. The beast will kill them in Jerusalem where the Lord of the 2 witnesses has been crucified. The world will gaze at their dead bodies for 3.5 days. People will celebrate their death by exchanging gifts because these 2 tormentors have died. However, after 3.5 days, God will breathe life into their dead bodies. These 2 witnesses will rise to their feet. Great fear strikes all who saw their resurrections. After their resurrection, God called them up to heaven. Before the watching eyes of their enemies, the 2 resurrected witnesses ascended into heaven in the cloud. Meanwhile, at the same time, a great earthquake struck Jerusalem. 1/10 of the city collapsed, and 7,000 people died in the earthquake. The survivor gave glory to God of heaven. In summary, during the 42 months, God testified to the world through the words of the 2 witnesses. God's power flowed through these 2 witnesses to torment the world. God's power protect the 2 witnesses. No one can stop the 2 witnesses from prophesying because God's timing for them has not come. When the 42 months are completed, God testified to the world through the lives of the 2 witnesses. God allowed the beast to kill the 2 witnesses. However, God showed that His power is greater than the beast when He resurrected the 2 witnesses and calls them to heaven. By reversing what the beast has done, God encourages His people to stand firm against the coming persecution of the beast. The ascension of the 2 witnesses and the great earthquake concludes the 6th trumpet, which is the second woe. When the 7th angel sounds his trumpet, the final woe begins. In the next few videos, we will look at the events surrounding the final woe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel to receive notification of new videos. Thank you for watching.